going live? We're going live, folks! Hello! And welcome to the Level With Us Livecast, I hope. Though I do think Josh, something might have gone wrong, because the stream just looks like you walking to your chair. But hey, whatever, it's fine. Hello,
That's
folks!
weird.
It's me, your host, Marco Santos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me is the ever amazing, ever wonderful project manager of Level 99 Games himself, and designer of Bullet, the one, the only...
Josh, also known as the 3. How's it going, everybody?
Yo, we're back for another week of podcastery, livecastery for all of you. This is going to be a very interesting one, because this is something that Brad and I used to do back on the Level With Us podcast.
Right, I heard about that.
Yeah, where we would try to do some game design sessions live on podcast. But now, instead of just being on podcast, it's now live with chat, which will be a very interesting exercise. So for this week, we are going to try to, well, at the behest of chat's suggestions, level 99ify. I don't know. We should really come up with a term for this, right? Levelify? 99.
Level up.
Level up? Whatever. We were gonna try to make the next level 99 version of a game genre, right? A lot of our fans know us for making games that are abstractions of video game genres, right?
Right.
You know, we did it for Battlecon and fighting games. We kind of did it for, you know, Argent and worker placement. We kind of did it for Imperial and trains. We kind of did it for Millennium Blades and CCGs, right? You know, so... And of course we did it for Bullet and Shmups. Duh, right?
Right.
So, we're trying to figure out a way for us to be able to do that for another genre, or maybe even the same genre again if people want to see us, you know, try to revisit how we would do a CCG again, or how we would do a fighting game again. But...
Again.
Again, because we've already done Battlecon and we've already done Exceed and, you know, etc, etc. So, folks, here's the real question to all of you. Give us some genres. We're gonna take suggestions of genres from chat. We're gonna take votes. I assume, so on the right side of your screen, you'll be seeing our Google document that we will be typing all of these out on. Josh, I'll be reading out the suggestions to you, and then you can start writing them on the document.
Sure.
But before we get into it, or at least while we're waiting for chat to give us some suggestions, Josh, how are you? What's up?
I'm tired. I just came back from a vacation over the 4th day break. As you can tell, I haven't shaved at all. I've barely had time to catch up with staff since I got back like 4 hours. So I had a good time, but you know, duty calls. So I'm back here for the live stream just in time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here with everybody again.
Yeah. Oh, great. Because I was about to go away. I'm sorry you have to be here despite being tired. But hey, it's okay.
No, it's fine. I mostly slept fine last night.
Mostly.
I'm certain good enough to do a live stream. Like,
all
that's
right.
fine.
All right. Well, that's good.
How about yourself?
I'm okay. It's 6:30 a.m. as every time we do this live cast, so I'm a bit woozy. You know, it's really amazing to think that this is Marco after he just wakes up. Like, can you imagine how energetic I actually am when I'm actually awake? So, you know,
right.
Give or take, it's gonna be fine. I'm really excited for this one because so for people who don't know, context-wise, Josh and I do something like this for fun. Part of the process and part of our work hours at Level 99 Games is we get to spend around an hour a day basically spitballing and basically researching new games to make, right? Like, you know, even if, for example, right now I'm working my butt off doing Battlecon, that's not exactly what's happening, but let's just say, like, the current project is Battlecon. Even if I dedicate 7 hours of my day to Battlecon, and that's what has deadlines and stuff, I am allowed to spend an hour working on future projects I want to work on, or, you know, just some personal projects of my own. And Josh and I often collaborate, you know, spitballing with random stuff. Most of these things have not come to fruition at all. But, you know, it's just a fun exercise for you to be able to stretch your design chops at the company that makes board games.
Right. Yeah, a lot of, to have games to print, in 2022 and 2023, we have to kind of start working on stuff like now. Using Bullet as an example, Bullet took like 3 years before we even started to develop on it. So like if people don't, if staff doesn't like work ahead of time, we won't really have designs to print, years from now. So we always kind of have to be like figuring out what the next cool thing that we'll be working on is.
Right, exactly. So chat is saying we need a third fighting game. No. Fine.
I mean, you got Yomi, right? We could do fight again. We could try different, approach.
Put it up there.
Yeah.
Squad tactics game. Interesting. So Dawn of War 2, Door Kickers. Is XCOM part of that? I think XCOM would be part of that, right?
Sure, I would say so.
Yeah, squad tactics game. Racing game is really interesting. Platformer. City builder. MOBA. Dating sim.
If you only knew how long I've been trying to work on a dating sim game for.
Look, man, if we could make a dating sim where you date board games, like imagine
not characters, like actual board games.
Yeah. Imagine a dating sim where you date BattleCon or you date Exceed. Right? BattleCon and Exceed are like siblings.
Right.
BattleCon's the older one. Exceed's the younger one. All right. Did you put MOBA already?
I believe so.
Okay. Metroidvania.
Okay.
Auto chess. So put auto battler, not auto chess, because the genre is technically called auto battler. Dwarf Fortress.
Do we have repeats for these?
Platformers appeared twice, I think. Oh man. Similar to MOBA, seeing how you'd handle an RPG would be interesting.
JRPG, I assume.
JRPG.
Or yeah.
Platform fighter. Okay. Well, there's a platformer. There's a fighting.
We could cross the streams a bit, sure.
Okay. Racing would be interesting. MMO would be interesting.
Racing,
RPG, like tabletop. Though I guess a level 99 JRPG would also be cool. Well, okay, so chat.
TTRPG.
Chat, in case you didn't know already, we're already working on the TTRPG. We've announced what it is. We've also given you the setting.
We've teased it.
Well, we have an entire 1.5 hour live stream about it. What are you talking about? Right? Like, so if you guys want to watch that, search up Adventures at Argent, where you can be a student at Argent University and take classes. All right.
We could do it again though. We could just Mystic Empyrean 2 or something.
Choose your own adventure games.
CYOA. Okay.
Okay. Another thing for tabletop RPG.
Okay.
Somebody put here a Yakuza game. I think what they mean is more like brawler. It's a brawler game with mini games, right? Battle Royale. You need 40.
Do we have to?
You need 40 real.
I mean, 2 Rooms and a Boom did it. Like, sure, there's a way to make something that's less social and more mechanical with like 50+ players, right?
Dude. Platform shooter like Metal Slug or Contra or I guess Mega Man, right?
Right.
A team game. I don't know what that means. Like any genre could technically be a team game. Turn Josh down a bit. All right, chat. I will. Hey, Josh, can you speak?
Hey, am I still too loud? Is this better?
Turn you down a little bit more. There you go.
Okay.
Let me.
So do we want to narrow this down? We got a couple of selections that are
let's see.
votes.
Chat is still saying Boyfriend Dungeons as you date your weapons. I know exactly the game you're talking about.
Like 1,000 Arms, yeah.
There's a
Or
no. There's a
you did weapons. Okay.
there's a dungeon crawler roguelike game where the main progression system is that you date weapons so that they get stronger.
Right.
Character generator. So it's like Millennium Blades, but building a character for an RPG. So that's another tick for RPG.
So like role player.
No, just tick another tick for RPG.
Alright. Sure.
There's Brawler, side-scroller Brawler, another one. Cyberpunk or steampunk is a genre of like fiction, right? As opposed to a genre.
That's more of a theme, mechanical genre, right?
Yeah. I've been having fun with Blaze Blue Exceed. I mean, awesome, but also
Great.
not the genre. Boss Hunter game, like Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Sports game in the vein of Mario sports games. Okay, well, we're going meta here. A game where you design board games.
Sure, like, what's that? Can't think of the name. Board
Mangaka,
game.
right? Mangaka is a
Designer.
board game where you draw manga. Something like that.
Right, something like that.
I'd love to see something more co-op. Alright. So, chat, do you see the document populate here? So, we're trying to pare it down. Let's get rid of everything that doesn't have double votes, right?
Sure.
Alright, awesome.
So do we want to revote for these, or do we want to...
Yeah, let's re-vote for these ones.
Okay.
So chat, your choices are racing game, platformer game, tabletop RPG, and brawler. And by that we mean like side-scrolling brawler like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, etc, etc, etc. You know, we're not talking about the best character archetype in BattleCon.
Imagine if we had the next fighting game, it was just called Brawler.
It would be the best one. So you'll see here that Josh has created the general outline for a game when we make one of these.
Yeah, this is kind of my like rulebook outline that I was, so we may or may not get to fill some or all these out today on stream. But this is kind of our guideline. Let's pick a genre where we can go.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
what
this
we
is
need to
not just
know.
yours, right? This is basically also Brad's outline, so...
Yeah, this is Brad outline that I've adapted to be kind of our standard, like, this is how we make a rule book kind of thing. So,
yeah.
You know, once I've filled all these out, we have a pretty good idea of whatever this game we're making is or starting to make today is. I don't think we're going to finish it. Obviously, if we get TTRPG, this all goes out the window.
Yeah,
most of it. But
we're gonna, yeah, because there's no components much.
But I'll redo it. Yeah, if we.
All right.
get TTRPG.
Chat says Brawler. 1 vote for Brawler.
Okay. 1 vote for Brawler.
Second vote for Brawler.
Okay.
First vote for racing game. First vote for
Racing.
platformer. Second
Okay.
vote for racing game.
Okay.
Second vote for platformer. Second
Alright.
vote
What's
for
that?
racing.
What happened to all the TTRPG people?
Third vote for racing, I mean.
Third
Third
vote
vote
racing,
for
yeah.
platformer.
Right.
Fourth vote for racing.
Alright. Racing is the genre I'm least familiar with. I hope you know some racing games.
Brawler is a third vote. Okay, we're gonna wait like 5 more minutes for more votes. Until we're,
Sure.
While we're waiting there, which one would you want, Josh?
I want tabletop RPG. I just want to make another tabletop RPG.
You just want an excuse to make another one.
I want to make. I mean, Brad made Argent, so Brad made Adventures at Argent, so I want to.
For people who don't know, Josh is a big tabletop RPG nerd. Like, can you explain why you even joined Level 99 Games in the first
Yeah,
place?
that's like the whole reason I joined the company. So like, I beta tested Mystic Empyrean with Brad, and then when I finished my master's work, I hit him up for a job. I was like, oh, he makes board games, because I play BattleCon too. I was like, oh, he made Mystic Empyrean, and maybe he makes other RPGs too. And I joined up, and it's been like 9 years, and I haven't made an RPG yet. So, but we're finally getting to one. Eventually, maybe it's in 2022.
Yeah.
But
We
it'd be
should
nice to like
really-
design myself. It'd be fun.
Josh, you know what we should do? We should play a game of Argent live on stream. That
I don't know that we're allowed to do that.
No,
yet,
no. When
but
it's announced,
you can ask
and
about
out.
it.
When it's announced,
Oh, of
and
course.
out, we should
Yeah,
play
absolutely.
one on stream.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah,
should. That
we'll
should just
definitely
be
do that.
like, you know, in between every live cast is just the Adventures at Argent game. That would be.
Yeah,
cool.
we could do like half a week or something in an hour.
Right.
That'd be pretty easy.
Okay.
Any other votes?
One more vote for tabletop RPG. We're waiting for more
Okay,
of your
so
votes,
that's
folks.
the only vote.
Yeah. But like a board game meta of a tabletop RPG. So they want a meta tabletop RPG. Interesting.
Oh, like Millennium Blades, but for tabletop RPGs.
Right. So
Right.
it tries to emulate.
So it'd
the
just be
fact-
about character creation, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like the
obviously.
best part.
Yeah, it's character creation and then like some system basically.
It just checks your character creation, right? Like
Yeah, it auto.
tells with your deck.
It has your party members auto roleplay, not auto battle, right? Like that's boring. It would be auto
Right.
roleplay.
Auto socials for you.
Yeah, dude. Possible. If my comment didn't count brawler for me, I counted that as a brawler. Somebody else voted platformer.
Okay, 4 and 4.
Platformer
Racing
and racer are neck and neck. We have around 3 minutes left before we lock in everything. I would personally like to see platformer or brawler. I'm not really good at Streets of Rage and all these side-scrolling brawlers, but I love them.
Yeah, beat 'em ups. Yeah,
Yeah, I love these beat-em-up games.
I'm familiar enough with them to where I can spitball you at least, but I'm also not a huge fan. Brawlers, Davey, our governor, is actually a huge fan of beat 'em up games.
Wasn't he the one who made? Gosh, I'm losing my mind. Davey made a board game before joining us, right?
Yeah. Neon City Rumble.
Yeah, he
and
made Neon
Pocket
City
Neon
Rumble.
City. Yeah, which is a beat 'em up game. So
Yeah.
big fan of that. He can trash me after the stream if we get Brawl and we make a really bad one. But we at least know the genre, right? I know what to make.
Somebody in
Know
chat
what
is
it's
saying,
wanting.
"Hear me out. It's a racing platformer, brawling, side-scrolling beat 'em up." Are we just
I
going
mean, that's-
absolutely crazy here? Oh, by the way,
If the votes are equal, we combine them.
oh yes,
Into one
genius. There's a really funny story because I recently bought a game called Hadean Tactics, Josh,
Okay.
and it's been making me pog out of my mind because it's a
What's it like?
deck building roguelike auto battler.
Okay. I can understand those things in a vacuum.
So it's like Slay the Spire.
So it's
like Slay
yeah,
the Spire.
it's like Slay the
right?
Spire.
So it's like that's
Right.
the roguelike, that's the deck building, right? But the combat isn't like a turn-based JRPG. I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me. It's an auto
Right.
battler. You have like an army of units, and then all of your cards are like buff cards or heal cards or whatever. So a lot of the cards aren't attacks. A lot of the cards are like, you know, this unit gets healed, or this unit deals AoE damage, or this unit is moved to this space, or whatever. So that's the auto battler part for you. Racing platformer, racing platformer, racing platformer, racing platformer. It looks like people just want a racing platformer.
We could do that.
I mean, look, somebody's already made a racing fighting game, so
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna say if race one, we could just adapt Fabio's video game, right?
yeah. So
It's
Fabio
racing
Fonch,
fighting game.
Fabio Fonch, the artist for Millennium Blades and for some Battlecon stuff, is
And
making a
Battlecon.
racing fighting game where you are two cars and then you beat each other up.
It's like Road Rash if the motorcycles were the chain whips, basically.
I guess that's an oddly specific thing, but yes. It looks like racing platformer wins. Let's go.
Okay,
We're making
racing
a
platformer.
racing platformer.
Okay, so let's talk about concepts in games that we want to convey, right? So we have this racing platformer game.
Racing platformer, the game. So obviously Speedrunners is here, right? Speedrunners, not the concept of people who speedrun. I'm talking about the game Speedrunners. Okay, just in case it wasn't.
I haven't played Speedrunners, but yeah, is that
Speedrunners is basically
category?
like it's basically what it sounds like on the tin. It's a racing game, but it's a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. There's also
Okay.
Ultimate Chicken Horse, which is technically a racing platformer.
Sure.
Are you not?
I was talking more like mechanical concepts, not like existing video games, but that's good.
We need
that
to
we know
talk
some.
about existing video games, right? To see where we are, right? Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Yeah, to see what we want to avoid, you know.
Speedrunners.
Right.
So part of making a board game, folks, is research. So it's all about understanding what is there or what you can use, or rather, like Josh said, what you want to avoid, right? You don't want to just make Ultimate Chicken Horse again, right? You're trying to be unique here. Why is Speedrunners in parentheses? Oh, okay.
Oh, I just want to separate these from, you know, the actual mechanical things. You know, like we probably have the concept of speed in this game or like, you know, want to have like
Obviously,
you know, obviously.
So obviously, how do you do a platformer, right? Like there's the go fast. What makes a platformer a platformer, right? It's about precise positioning, right? It's about you know, it's about understanding verticality, right? Platform fast, go fast.
Right. So I mean, it sounds like this is the kind of like like if this were a video game, you would just like, basically speedrun, I guess. This is kind of speedrun the video game.
Yeah. Do we want to do it meta?
Maybe
I mean, making it meta means we literally cannot copy another game, right? Because making it meta.
I mean, are there a lot of things? Are there like in jokes and meta concepts to like play in these genres, like in racing games or in platform games and stuff?
It would be a meta game about speedrunning at that point, right?
Right.
So like imagine. So chat is saying like, you know, imagine trying to vie for world record in a Mario. Like imagine there was like a abstract Mario game, right? And the entire game is about speed running the Mario game. Or something like that, right?
Right.
So like we take racing and it's like speed running. That's the speed element, right? But it's not that the game itself is a racing game, right?
Right.
Chat is saying ramps, boosts, drifts, obstacles.
Right.
Fall Guys is technically a racing platformer. You're not wrong. I think ramps, boosts, drifts, and obstacles are a bit too granular at this point, right? What we're going for is the... What makes those genres, right? Like, when you distill it, what's the feeling that you get when you play a racing game? When you distill it, what's the feeling that you get when you do a platforming game? So racing games are all about being fast. So the game should make you feel fast, right, Josh?
Right, like a Sonic game or something.
Right, exactly. Like Sonic has the essence of a racing platformer, right? Because it's all about literally gotta go fast, but also what makes a platformer is tight controls, right? Like being able to maneuver a character around. So really, whenever I look at game design documents or game design videos, when they say, well, let's make a platformer, what they actually mean is like, let's make a character that's fun to control, right?
Right.
So like basically a game that makes you want to go fast and a game where it's fun to manipulate the character you're using would be a racing platformer board game. Anything else is basically like fluff on top, right? Whether or not you have like platforms that you jump on, whether or not you have like power-ups or ramps or whatever, like none of that matters. If the game makes you feel fast and the game makes you feel like it's fun to control the character you're playing, I think we succeed, right?
I mean, I would say that obstacles are a thing in both video genres that we should probably like.
I mean, they should probably be in there, but they're not a requirement, right? Like, you know, like how in Bullet,
Not necessarily.
I mean, look, like in Bullet, power-ups are a thing in shmups, right? But Bullet, the game itself, still is a success even if you didn't have power-ups in it, right? It would still be fun to play Bullet without power-ups.
Yeah, I mean, Bullet abstracts out a lot of stuff like, you know, muscle memory, and, you know, pattern memorization and stuff. You know, actual pattern memorization, not like looking at a pattern.
Chat is saying precision is key on both. The feel of hitting.
But I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, in being precise. Like, if there's no obstacles in your way, there's no concept of go fast and being precise, right? You can't go fast if you have nothing like orient yourself to. Right? If you're just in a void space and a game said you were going 2 miles an hour, you wouldn't know that unless there's like trees going past you, something like in a blur.
Yeah.
Obviously. Right. Or.
So you know, something like speedrunning in a platformer meta. Somebody saying that there's this game that you try to cycle through a deck as quickly as possible to escape a castle. That's interesting. Real time? Yeah, real time. Dude, this could be like a weird dexterity game, right?
It could, yeah.
So there's a
I kind of like the idea of going through like a deck or like you're playing War or something.
Let me show you something.
I know, something more isolated though. I'm not a big fan of real time. It's a lot. Like, it'd be cool if you had like a.
So there's this
like
cute little game that I found in my local game store. I'm gonna show chat right here. It's called Sherlock Express. Like, it's not killing it on BGG or whatever, but the concept of this game, which is very appealing to me. How do I open this box again? There you go. There's a magnet on this side. So it's a detective game, but it's a dexterity game. And the way it works is that you have these circular tiles, each of which is representing okay, so the way this game works is that you won't be able to see this, Josh. But,
I was gonna say, remember, I can't see.
Yeah. I'm gonna explain it.
Right.
So there are cards in this game, basically, and they have 2 big things about them. 3 big things, I mean. There is a person on the card, okay? There is a accessory that person has, and there is a location that person is in. So for example, on chat, you'll see that this is a panda with a mustache in a tea room, right? Or this one is a koala with a mustache in a forest. Or this one is a tiger with a mustache in a library, okay? So multiple of these suspects will pop up on the board, and then you'll be pulling cards like this. So this one is just a tiger, or this one is just a monocle, or this one is just a mustache, right? So the way this game works is that multiple of these will be on the board, and then you'll be drawing from a deck of evidence. Every time you draw a piece of evidence, that means this could not be the killer. So if you draw a mustache, it means literally anyone with a mustache is not your killer, right? Or if you draw a tiger, anyone who is a tiger can't be your killer. And the object of the game is to keep drawing evidence until you rule out all but one of the possible killers. And the first person to basically slap their hand on a killer wins that point and arrests that killer, right? So this kind of gives the... So imagine these are obstacles, right? Right? Imagine like, you know... Imagine there's like a communal deck that goes like tree, pit, spikes, or whatever. And then you have to do something in response to the deck revealing information, right? Because that's basically what I'm saying here, right? Like the deck reveals information that everybody has to deal with somehow, at the same time, right? Like it's like a simultaneous play game. So I don't know. Like imagine like a roguelike deck builder. Oh no, I said it. Imagine like you have your own deck of cards that are like, you know, jump, move left, move right, or whatever. And there's another deck of like obstacles, and you have to churn through the deck faster than everybody else. So imagine it's like, you know, you have to jump pits, you have to sidestep trees, and then you have to slide underneath beams or whatever, right? Just imagine that, right?
Right.
What if, I don't know, like there's a deck communal between all of us that's trees, pits, and beams, and then we all have like a deck of like, you know, you draw, I don't know, you have a deck, and then basically tree, you play a sidestep, you take the tree, you score that point, right? Or something like this. I don't know.
I mean, we might be getting a little ahead of was like in define. Next, like I think, you know, with only like 30 minutes left, we should probably just define like the core concepts, right?
I mean,
like
yeah,
what do we
yeah,
do?
Yeah.
Do we want this game to be about cars, or do we want it to be real time or not? You know, do we want to?
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, maybe, you know, maybe we could take something from all of that, right? Like we could, that might be how we do a real time thing. That might be how we represent obstacles, right? Like, you know, again, I'm just going by inspirations at this point, right?
Right.
Let me see.
I mean, another thing we would usually get to is what genres of board game mechanics have we not done yet? Because usually
just
we
to
try
make
to
it
like
different from everything else.
Yeah, we, you know, if we have, you know, like a train already, we wouldn't want to make another train because we already have one. So
That hasn't stopped us for fighting games, Josh.
well, no, but you know, we tried to, you know, emphasis on try it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so what are some like genres we haven't done yet? We haven't done a deck builder yet. I guess PT's deck builder, but like not like the board genre deck builder.
So, like, yeah. So, chat, I really love these ideas that we're getting here. But as Josh said, I think we may be getting too granular. I was just exposing that, you know, this is a thing that we could probably do, inspired by Sherlock Express. But Josh wants to go more big, you know, big picture stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly not going to get a game made today, right? This is a process that takes, like, a really long time.
Yeah,
you know, this is kind of just, like, dipping our toes, like, showing everyone how, you know, how this kind of works.
I mean, we could continue this, you know, on the next livecast or something, right?
Yeah, possibly.
So we haven't made a deck builder in the board game sense, right?
Right. Yeah, like Dominion
or like
Star
Dominion,
Realms.
Star Realms, or whatever, right? Or any of the Marvel Champions games or Marvel Heroes or whatever the heck, right?
Right.
Tile placement.
Technically, Cell Swords is tile placement, but
I was about to say
real tiles, like punch sheet tiles that you put in the configuration. Like I would say we could revisit genre safely.
Okay, what other board game genres have we not done? I don't know. Like we haven't really done a Twitch, like a real-time game, right? We haven't done like a dexterity game.
I mean, we've done Slugfest and Disc Duelers, but it's been so long that we can probably revisit it.
Yeah.
Dexterity. What was the one you said before that?
Like a real-time game, right? Like technically, it's real-time, but
yeah, but like a full real-time.
Yeah, a full real-time game.
Right.
We haven't made a social deduction game in a long time, but I'm not sure how that works with social deduction racing platformer.
I mean, yeah, I don't. That's these don't necessarily slot what we want to do. I just want to get them outlined so we can kind of see.
I think deck builder dexterity real time would be really cool. Tile placement would also be really cool because it's kind of like Ultimate Chicken Horse, right? Ultimate Chicken Horse, part of it is like the tile placement.
Yeah, you set up the map and then you run through it. Yeah. I think the big is whether or not we want this to be a dexterity game.
Right.
Because that, you know, whether or not it's dexterity throws a lot of stuff out the window, or you know, brings a lot of stuff in.
Chat was saying, I was liking the ideas. The ideas aren't gone, right? It's just that we want to be able to settle on the big picture stuff, and then we could easily come back to the thing I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing gets thrown out. We're just
nothing gets thrown out. We're just Josh is basically saying, Marco, you're on step 2. We should be at step 1.
I definitely think that, we want cars. We want this game to be about cars, not like hedgehogs or, other things that go fast.
I'm not against the car game. Dude, this is our Fast and Furious game.
Yeah. This is our pitch to Vince HQ.
To Dominic Toretto. I hate it. Oh, dude.
Like, I can picture the cover. Now, you have these 2 cars, like, a big ramp over, like, a spike pit, like, snakes in it or some dumb thing like that.
Dude. Like, real-time tile placement would also be really interesting, chat is saying, because you could kind of do a thing where you have an end goal and you have a start. And, dude, okay.
Oh, like real-time Saboteur?
Like real-time Saboteur,
like
or like imagine a track placing game where all of you have the same endpoint, and all of you have to just tile place your way to the endpoint, and that's the racing game.
Oh, like every turn is placing like a line on the track that you drive, and then you can like switch lanes. And stuff, so like tracks other view. But that's really cool. Okay.
Right. Like,
okay, it sounds like we've kind of voted on the mechanics here, which I like. I don't know that it needs to be real, right? As long as the turns are fast.
It doesn't need to be real time.
Right? It's fine.
But it's like Ultimate Chicken Horse, right? Like, imagine like a table spread, and there's like some goal, right? Like a flag or whatever, and you all start like some equidistant space away from the flag, right?
Yeah. You have like some sort of like start line, like this, and then you place tiles every turn like this.
Right, exactly. And then
you have like some finish line that's like way out here, like Saboteur.
Yeah, and then you have
every turn you place. Yeah, and you have some kind of marker that goes on tiles, and you can keep going in this straight line if you want, or you can switch over to like another player's line and try to drive that if you want to like avoid obstacles. Like maybe you like set movement, like you have move, it's like you set where you're gonna move, and then you like
sabotage people on the...
Yeah, like you could put like bad terrain in front because you're gonna go down right to this space.
Right.
And if they go up, they run to the wall or something.
That's interesting. 2-player... Oh my god, chat. 2-player asymmetric real-time dueling game. One of you is the car, the other one is the track.
That's like, what's that? What's that game where somebody plays the dragon and somebody plays the cave and some plays like the thief? That game where you're all playing... Yeah.
Cave something? Gosh.
I can't think of the name. That game, it's popular. Or was popular. Something like Lair. Is Lair in the title?
Okay, you know what? Let me just find it.
That game. It's like that game.
People know the game we're talking about.
The car is trying to get to the finish, and the track is to stop you from getting to the finish.
Vast! It's vast.
Vast, yeah, vast crystal caverns. Right.
Or the mysterious manor, or whichever, like, variant of it you want. Right. Gosh, man, I can't believe, like, it took us way too long to think of vast. It's a decently popular game.
It's been a while since I've played it.
No idea. Okay, build a track for everyone where everyone is trying to play their racer's strengths. No, that's exactly what we're talking about, Brandon. Like, technically, you all build on... So imagine there's, like, 4 players and 4 rows. But the track is common, right? You just get to dictate what happens in your row, right?
Right, we're all controlling this row. Like, we place a tile, every turn like this.
Right, but I could, so Josh could be placing TTTs, but I could, so T's for trees, but I could do like pitfall, spike, beam, tree.
Yeah, as long as I'm not in these spaces, that's okay.
Because
and like, if we want to convey the concept of speed, or you could place out of turn, right? Maybe you could place a tile like way out here. If there's like let's say it's like a ramp, maybe these are spaces, right? There's like 10 spaces. Start and the finish. I can technically place a tile anywhere, right? But every turn I have to advance my car 1 space. So if I hit a gap, something bad happens. If there's no space, like I spin out or whatever. Maybe place a ramp here, and the ramp lets me move it like 3 tiles to this one I placed.
All right,
really far
but if
out.
but if you place a ramp and then somebody reads your ramp, and they do something like, you know.
Yeah, they can hit it too. They can hit the ramp on the same turn. Go this way.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be really interesting, man.
So you kind of convey the concept of the obstacles by the place set. You convey the concept of speed by being able to place wherever and like getting ahead potentially, but being riskier. There's no track here.
I mean, obviously it's still a racing game.
Land.
Whoever gets to the end just wins, right? So.
Right. Yeah, you could be tiles ahead of somebody else for all. Depending. It's obviously there'd be like a rubber band mechanics you can catch up.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's a blue shell or. Oh my God, it's just Mario.
Yeah, this could be like Mario Kart where you have Zaniums too.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what chat is saying. Real-time time placement could work. You build tracks. I mean, that's basically what we're doing. This could be a real-time game.
I don't know that it needs to be real time. Right? If these turns are just place a tile, move your dude, like that's quick enough.
No,
real
Josh,
time would cause the issues, I think.
Josh, just imagine like, you build track and at the end of 5 seconds, all cars move forward one.
Yeah, but that's really, like, even if you have to draw from bag and place a tile, that's still really easy to do. When, like, if we're all placing in lines next to it, we're gonna be knocking each other's tiles over. Like, I think speed can be abstracted quite a bit. I don't know that it needs to actually be real time, because it seems like it'd be a little messy. Unless, these lines are actually separate and we don't interact with each other directly. Right, and we're just placing,
No, it would be more fun if we could move into others' tracks, right?
Yeah, interaction I think would provide more gameplay, right? When I hit this ramp, it could just say move for space, and that doesn't have to be straight. It could go like 1, 2, like 3, and then like down 1 to like 4,
so
or whatever. I can move between these spaces a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it would be stuff like how does someone go further or less than someone else? Do some cars traverse trees easier and pits less? So you have to use your turn to swerve, etc. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, cars would certainly have stats and effects and stuff. This is a level, right? These cars would have UAs and
of course, the cars would have asymmetric powers, right?
Of course, yeah. So like this game, is a top. Let's just call it ride or die.
Okay, we need to come up
for
with
now.
Yeah. Though, do we want to make it sound like,
go with the F9 memes.
F9
Sound like what?
Oh, if we want to make it like F9 memes, right? Then it should just be like, quicken something.
Oh, like quicken X. Yeah, quicken something.
Right, like, like, I don't know, like quicken quack or whatever the hell, right?
Right.
I don't know what like a Q word for furious is.
Right. So this game is a tile placement racing game where players build the track or build track and race to the finish.
Yeah, that would be really
each turn, players place a new section of track in front of them, then move to any adjacent forward. Obviously, this is spitballing.
Oh my gosh, Josh! You know what would really be helpful for this? Is if track wasn't just a single 1x1 square.
So like it's like a domino?
No, it's like a tetromino. Imagine an L shape and then it encroaches on somebody else's track.
Oh no! I like that a lot because it creates gaps automatically.
Right, it creates gaps, so now you need to...
If you give me this shape, like right here, and you say I have to place it, like let me clean out this example a bit. Like, if you give me this tile, and the rule... Whoa! I accidentally hit a button that has killed my document. There we go. back.
Scary.
I hit like F12 or something. So yeah, I get this Tetromino tile, and it's the game says you have to place one of the edges on your row, right?
Right.
So I could do this, or I could do like, this. Or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that automatically creates gaps. If I get a line, if this guy gets a line like this, then there's a gap. Right? And maybe we can rotate these. It's the timing's a little awkward.
Well,
because now we can't do it. Well, yeah, it has to be turn-based now. We can't this simultaneous.
Yeah, you just said it's turn-based, so it's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little long. If you can rotate, some players might go, which way?
Well,
Want to place this
maybe
tile?
Maybe it's not rotatable, right? Maybe it's not rotatable.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they would be rotatable. Well, if you're drawing them from a bag, though, like,
I mean,
how do you know what side is the right side to place?
The tiles could just be drawn in a specific way that like has arrows on them to show. Like, imagine a road, but instead of the yellow dash lines in the middle, it's arrows, right? Kind of like in a video game, racing game. Like, where it's like,
Yeah, but like half the fun is like figure out how to place the track to like help you and screw other people, right?
Yeah, so maybe a rotating.
Also, like, is it a problem if I do, this kind of deal? Like, I place the tile like.
Yeah, then how does player 2?
How does player 2 place the tile? Well, I guess they can just place it anywhere, right? They can place it.
Yeah,
like,
you can just place tile anywhere so long as it touches your track, right?
Right.
So it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to fill up the empty spaces in front of you, right?
So is this like Millennium? It's where we spend most of the game building the track and then we execute and the game auto executes, or is there a drive phase?
It's like build, drive, build, drive, build, drive, build, drive, right?
It could be.
I kind of want it to be like that, right? I don't want it to be like we build the track.
It makes the game go a lot quicker, right.
It also builds tension, right? Because you don't know who wins. Because the problem with the first one is if you build the entire track, you can just see who wins already, right? Without doing the execution. That's kind of boring, right?
Right.
It would be better if it's like build, drive, build, drive, build, drive, so you have to adapt while you're going, right? Okay. So a bit of push your luck mechanic where racers can move cards to traverse, but maybe have to play one more than how many revealed tiles are there. So we're getting really granular, right? Domino style tiles. I really like domino style.
I kind of also like dominoes too.
Oh my god.
This makes placement easier, right? Because it's always a 2x2 or 1x2.
People figured it out. Keyword for furious is quarrel. So quick and quarrel would be...
Sure. I'll note it. I'll note it down here.
Oh my god.
So we got track tiles, trominos or dominoes. We got like a start line tile.
We have cars.
We got like a finish line tile. We have X, car, boards, UAs. These would be separate from the track, obviously. They'd sit in front. And how is your cars or finish flags or whatever bits this game
How do the cars
might
move?
have?
How do the cars move?
Nitrous. They automatically move, right?
Well,
like they just move forward one. Maybe have speed, and most speeds are 1, and some speeds are 2.
They move forward one. Like, what happens if there's a hole? Does your car just crash immediately?
Yeah. There would be some rule. If you run into a hole, you spin out, or you lose health, or something, right?
Yeah, there should be a way around that, right? Like, there should be a way around holes that doesn't...
Well, yeah, you ramp. You either move over the gap, or you
explained
ramp or something.
the first issue, right? Which is somebody builds here and there's an immediate gap in front of you. If you just don't draw a ramp tile, what happens, right?
Right. I think that's why dominoes would probably be better. And dominoes could have gaps on them, right? They could have things like gaps.
So what you're saying is that they're just 2x1 or 1x2 blocks instead of...
Yeah, they're 1x2 blocks. You can always place some... There's not... there might be gaps on the tiles, but, like, there wouldn't be nearly as many gaps. We could control that, right? When we make what the faces of these dominoes are, we know exactly how many pits are in the game. It's not arbitrated by your tile placement.
Part of me gets really miffed that player 1 and player 3 in this example wouldn't be able to interact with each other, right?
I mean, that's a balance thing. We can figure that out later. Like, maybe there's a first player marker that passes or something.
Oh,
You know.
God, somebody's saying, what if you move with cards? Like, what if you program the movement of your car for the turn?
You could. I mentioned something a little here where you set if you're gonna move like in top, middle, or bottom lane, and then you it's move forward, but which lane you're in. You know, you can move an adjacent lane or not.
Oh my God, what if it's like
a turn signal or whatever?
What if it's like pseudo Battlecon, right? You have movement cards, and one of them's like, you know, swerve left, swerve right, and then jump, right? Okay? And then you set that, then you all play styles, then the cars move based on what you set, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like Chat is saying, it's like you do command cards. So obviously there's swerve, jump, and then there's just gas, right? So imagine swerve, jump, swerve left, swerve right, and jump all only move you forward one space, but then do something else, right? Jump gets over pits, swerve lets you change lane, but gas is you just drive too forward in your lane. That way it's risky because somebody could just place a tile in front of you that's a hole and you spin out, but it's also how you go fast.
Right.
Right, so it's just a turn left, turn right, jump, and gas, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
Yeah, nitrous tokens, obviously. Do you have family in this game?
Maybe.
If not
That is
real-time,
to be
some
determined.
puzzle-like mechanic could be strong. You collaboratively build your field, then everyone tries to solve their puzzle the best. That's basically what this game is right now. So, Casey, you're not too far off.
And I mean, there could be like a soul, right, where you like methodically, you build out a track and see
Dude,
if
there
you
could
can,
be a co-op mode where you have to get
programming mode.
everyone to the end
Right.
without spinning out or something.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. So this is like an arcade racer now, right? Because the cars can magically jump. Game name, platform racer.
Yeah. So we've got kind of a vague we've got some ideas of some fairly solid components. We have, breakdown of everything, setup is like, put, we need a bag, obviously.
For the dominoes,
For the
obviously.
tiles.
Yeah. So notice, chat, one big thing, and maybe this is a fear behind it. Before we even get to starting to make the rules, we list down all of the components. Because if you create a set of rules that you don't know what the components are that represent them, it just makes producing the game hard. Right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, this is how right, Brad just comes up with a game and brings it to the office.
Yeah, but
like, he
also,
does all this in his head.
But yeah,
and makes
Brad,
a prototype.
Brad prototypes it, so therefore he has to think about the components too, right? You don't just...
Yeah, he goes through all this in his head. He just doesn't actually lay it all out.
Oh, yeah,
all
but
time.
Brad's made like times 10 the number of board games either of us have made.
Right.
So it's whatever.
So you put tiles in bag, you pick your UA.
Do you program before or after you place track? In my mind, you program before you place track.
Before.
Because if you program after, there's no point, right?
Set. So yeah, gameplay is like set, movement, face down.
The platformer, platformer is literally, there will be pits and obstacles along the racetrack, and you have to change lanes to avoid it. Literally, like...
Yeah, the changing lanes is essentially jumping on a platform, right? You have to swerve through these, obstacles and whatnot in your way.
Right, and there can be different kinds of obstacles, right? So I think the concept of changing lanes, like don't think about it like a racetrack, right? Imagine if instead of a racetrack, it was like, bottom floor, middle floor, top floor, and it's just you jumping from one set of platforms to the other. Like, think like an auto runner, right? Like Temple Run, for example. That would kind of be like a platformer, right? Because you have to go left, go right, dash down, or jump over pits. And I would say that Temple Run is a platformer, right, Josh?
I'm not familiar with Temple Run.
You don't know what Temple Run is? Okay, you know those games
by
that are like
name.
auto run games? Where the character keeps moving right and all you have to do is choose between jump or slide?
Oh, right. Sure.
Right? like that. Would you consider those platformers? I consider those platformers, like for all intents and purposes, right? So I think this game is just like that. Yeah, exactly. Infinite runners or subway runners. Yeah, exactly. Infinite runners or subway surfers or whatever, right? But those are platformers, right? And this is a racing game too because you're trying to get to an end goal. So this is basically like Subway Surfers, the racing game, which I'm not against. Put that in the list of concepts. Subway Surfers, Temple Run, other infinite runners. If you're going dominoes, then you can hide at least half of the last place tiles, and you can technically program after seeing one space ahead, but not two. Well, if you only place down one... If you place your domino in such a way that it doesn't do two spaces in front of you and you gas, then you just fall into a pit, right? Because any space that doesn't have a tile is a pit, right?
Basically, yeah. Spaces without tiles are pits. You know, maybe you would have to play like two, right? Because if you're always one space and you're likely going to be on the edge of a tile, I guess you could play the domino straight, right? And then
Remember, the person, if you're in the middle lane, for example, right, and you're ahead of everybody else, the person next to you can just place their domino ahead of you, right? They can just build track ahead of you. And if you gas or whatever, then you fall into a pit. So that's how they stop you from doing stuff, right?
Or yeah, they could put a ramp in front of you and you fly 4 space front and hit nothing.
And then you fall into a pit. And then you, of course, in typical Mario Kart fashion, you then respawn at some point behind everybody else, right?
The nice thing about this game is there's no board. Right, the dominoes make the track for you. I guess. Well, no. There still needs to be a board.
You need a board
because you have to know what spaces are out here. In the
like,
not placed section.
Like when you place a domino near the middle, right? Where does that go? You need a board, a grid specifically, a grid board.
Yeah, it would be like a 3x whatever grid.
Is it only 3 players? Do you want to do it 4 players or what?
I mean, yeah, whatever. I just set this up as 3. Yeah, it probably play to whatever.
Is everyone on the same? Okay, so for people who don't get the concept yet, right? There is 4 or any player number of lanes, right? When you build, you have one of the tiles that you place has to touch your lane, but you can build it anywhere on your lane, right? You don't have to keep building from the left to right. You could technically put a spike trap, let's say, near the finish line, so long as one of the spaces on that tile you place is on your lane. So let's say I'm top guy and I place a domino, right? I could place a domino here, but I could do domino like this, or I could do domino like this, right? So sometimes I would end up building in other people's lanes as a result. And then part of our movement capabilities is the ability to swap lanes. So even if I am middle row guy, my car doesn't need to be in the middle row. My car can jump and swerve to the top row or the bottom row. So like, I swerve, and so let's say M is my car, right? I could move into this lane because player 3 put a tree in my way, and I don't want to mess with that tree, so I swerve out of the way into somebody else's lane. It's not always simultaneously, right? It's turn-based, right? Player 1 puts their tile. So basically, in what Josh is basically putting down here in gameplay is, all of us simultaneously say what our car is gonna do secretly, right? Josh is like, I swerve right, and then I'm like, okay, I jump, or whatever, right? Then, in turn order, we all start placing tiles. So we have to commit our movement before we place tiles. Am I right, Josh? Right? We're on the same page here?
That's what we got so far, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yes, and then you all have to yeah, so being behind doesn't mean you catch up at all, right? Because every turn everyone moves forward one, right? So at some point somebody will reach the finish line. Rubber banding? How do we do rubber banding, right?
I mean, I don't. It would depend. This is a test, all right? I don't know that the game would need it. If the game is quick enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like Bullet.
And if the game it's like 10 minutes and who cares? You just play again.
Right.
If the game isn't quick enough, then yeah, there would need to be some sort of catch-up mechanic somehow. But I think this is like quick enough. But this game isn't quick enough.
I mean,
like you could make the track 20 spaces wide. It would still play like super quick, I think.
Yeah, because it's.
Is this fun? I don't know.
It sounds fun in my mind, right? It sounds
pretty clean, yeah.
Yeah, and of course variable player powers, right? Like, one guy.
Yeah, that's what these U spaces are. You could put a board behind each of your lines, so you just sit behind one of the track lines and you just move your car.
And remember, these powers aren't asymmetric in the Euro game sense of like, I'm better at buying wood and I'm better at buying wheat.
Yeah, it's not like my car has speed 2, my car has 4 health, It would be like I do a thing.
It would be like
I interact with the game. I interact with the game differently.
Right, like this guy completely ignores the rules of tile placement, and they can just place
this guy can like draw 3 tiles and pick one, or this guy can like set his movement card face up and like double down on it because everyone else can see it or whatever.
Right. Like he can place his movement tile face up, and then he just repeats it, right? So he does it twice. Or there's a person who can just there's a person who has a tile that's tied to them. It's like a special tile that does something, right? Like who knows, right?
Right. Actually, this game is kind of great because you don't even need a first player, right? You just say whoever's in front is first, and then like in Mario Kart, players can just screw them, right? They can just place pits in front as much as they want to like pull them back.
Actually,
so the gameplay will naturally rubber band for you.
No. Whoever's in first should be last to go in turn order.
No. I know that's what your board in a sense is telling you. But this is a stupid, dumb, simple, casual game about racing. So of course, whoever's in first should be first player, right?
Oh.
If you go first, you not only set your move first, but you also set your tile first.
But
which means
good.
players
setting your tile first is good.
Why?
Because
players 2 and 3 have all the opportunity in the world to screw you with their tiles, right?
No. But
in theory.
No. If you want players 2 and 3 to screw you, you have to let players 2 and 3 go first. Because if you are first, you can therefore guarantee what tile goes in front of you. So you can make that tile safe, because it's not like people can place over a pre-placed tile unless you.
Unless they can.
But now we're getting to a point where we're.
Imagine if you made physical there's no reason you couldn't,
make
right?
Physical railings.
Like place tiles on other tiles. It's like as long as there's stability, or as long as the dom isn't leaning. If it has support, you could place tiles. I don't see why that would be a problem. You place before you move. You just say whatever's on top is the relevant thing.
Right. I don't know.
I know, something to think about, right?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about how would you do support structures for the dominoes? You get into Crazy Town, right?
Well, they're 2x2s, right? If it doesn't, if there's not a thing on both ends, you can't place it on top. Simple as that. You can't place a 1. If you have a tile here, right?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, if it wouldn't support itself without any help, then
you couldn't do. Yeah, you couldn't do this because you couldn't place this top here because it would just fall over, right?
Right.
But if you had a tile here, too, space this out a bit. If there was a tile here and you place this here, then this is supported by these sides. So this is a legal placement.
Yeah, sure, makes sense.
Or this is a legal placement.
Chat is
I don't know how upwards when I get about it, but
yeah, so if
something to consider.
Something to consider. Again, we don't need to solidify any of these now. This is
part
of the process. Set cards first. Okay, so chat is asking, do we only have to program 1 turn ahead? Can we program more turns ahead? I don't think
Maybe.
though programming 2 turns ahead could be somebody's power, right?
This seems like the kind of game that wants to play quick, right? That's kind of where abstracting speed is, that not you moving along the track quickly, your turns are really fast.
I think
it's much quicker. Just go, I'm doing this, okay, done. I draw it, okay, place it, done.
Right.
Instead of
having to plan 4 turns ahead would be not fast, it would be strategic.
If a player wants to do that, like, fine, maybe that's a very something, but I don't think the core gameplay wants
But
that.
somebody could be that guy, right? Like, somebody's power could be,
sure,
I place 2 cards, right?
Right, yeah, I place 2 move, or is there I place 2 tiles, or whatever. Yeah, of course.
Alright.
Absolutely. So we're a little past an hour. We should probably close it up.
Yeah. Okay, so chat, before we close it out, I'm asking you, like, what do y'all think about this one right now? What do you think about the process by which we make a level 99 game? It's really weird because let me peel the veneer back a little bit. Josh and I have done like something like this for JRPGs too, because we're both big fans of JRPGs. So, I've come up with a concept. Josh has eviscerated it, which is, tends to be how these kinds of things
I
go.
still need to hold up my end of the bargain and come up with a concept.
Yeah.
I only have some ideas in my head. I haven't written anything down yet.
But,
I want it to be good.
Yeah, I mean, like, though, to be fair, right, it's better to have something made than nothing, right?
Oh yeah, fail faster is the thing that gets said a lot, like the playtesting.
Oh my god, that could be the ending of the Fast and the Furious movies. Fail faster?
Fail faster.
Dude. And then the 2-part sequel is obviously fail faster, fail furiouser. I hate it. This might change the core gameplay, but if we want this to be a short game, what if we pre-built track at the end of... If you get to the end of the track, the game ends, but the track extends by 1 into the oldest stamina. See, what you're talking about is just adding more mechanics that make the game more fiddly, right? Commit the card, place the card, execute. Commit the card, place the card, execute. Commit the card, place the card, execute.
I think they might be saying, what if the game was just place track and you do the movement at the end, right? It's just like an execution does for you, kind of. It's right. The game would be faster if it was just draw tile, place tile, right?
Yeah, but then there's...
Not saying it would be better,
Yeah.
but it's certainly faster if it was just draw tile,
personally
place
don't
tile.
think
That's what
that-
like Carcassonne is.
Yeah, but I personally don't think that emulates the feeling of like having to make split decisions in a platformer when you have to make decisions about
right.
like, positioning and stuff, right? Now all of these decisions are pre-made and there's no danger to you at all until the very end, right? Which is cool for a programming game, but that's not what a racing game is about. That's not what a platformer feels like, right? Process was cool, thanks for showing. Game is a good bone for something cool. Can't tell without testing early though. I mean, we can't tell at all. This game's not done.
Yeah, most of the times when a game falls apart and we revamp the entire system like 2 times. Bullet took 20 versions, Millennium Blades took like 38 versions. So obviously not to do that many versions anymore.
But this one,
we have games with much less iterations.
Yes, but that's because we plan ahead.
We have these core concepts here that we can fall. And, we know we want the game to be tight. So we know we want the game to have cars and be fast, and whatnot.
Dude,
so
I'm really into this.
If we revamp it,
I'm really into this. Like, hey chat, expansion mat. So there's like a board that's like X by 15, but there's a board that's X by 25 or something.
Oh yeah. Obviously, there would be like a longer track for a longer game if you want.
Yeah.
This game board would be pretty simple. Now it'd have like a start, a finish line, and maybe we have like middle boards that you can put in between it, right?
Oh my god! So some boards could even have.
So the basic gameplay is just start and just finish and put middle things in. And boards can be defined, right? You can have spaces defined.
Yeah, you can have boards that are trees, like board that have trees printed on them that you can't place on or whatever.
Yeah, you might not land on a pit. You might land on a tree, or you might land on track. Maybe that's a predefined track that you can place over or something.
Oh, dude! So we already have variables.
There's plenty of design space there.
Yeah, dude, there's plenty of design space. There's also plenty of design space with the cars because there's enough mechanics to mess with. So.
Oh yeah, because tiles have things on, right? Tiles would have like defined things like this is a hazard. Hazards are trees and pits and whatever, right? And now you have a UI that can interact with hazards. Or this is a ramp. Ramps are X, Z. You can define space tiles into categories, and then you can subdivide categories into specifics.
Yeah, there's a lot of design space. Again, when we make a game, we also want to make sure that there's enough space to play around, right?
Yeah, we want a lot of replayability. That's one of level 9's like hallmarks, basically.
Right. Oh, chat is saying maybe you could add
a
jump like as a choice of your next move to avoid bits. I mean, we have it here. Jump.
Yeah, we have that jump card. So that's just move 1 and avoid hazard. Swerve left and right is just change lane, and gas is move 2. Move 2.
Right. So gas is how you move faster, but also it commits you to a move 2, which is terrible because if somebody just places a tree in front of you, you crash, right?
Right.
So what if instead of program, there was a row of actions? After tiles, cards are revealed, snatched by one by one. So I think that's interesting too. I don't know whether you want to represent the reaction as your tile placement or as your car movement, right?
What do you mean?
I don't think this is deck building, folks. I don't think this is deck building. Chat might be thinking it's deck building. But no. Like, you just have a set of movement cards.
It's tile placement. Yeah, you draw tiles from the bag at random, and you have 3 movement cards at each turn you pick up, and you just set one and go.
Right. I don't like the idea of, like, there being a communal row of movement cards. Because what if all the movement cards were just swerve left? Then you just all swerve left? Like,
yeah, if there was some movement market, oh yeah, you could all get screwed really hard, which is funny, but if that happens 2 turns in a row, even if turns are quick, people are gonna
Remember the point of a racing game and a point of a platformer is that you have perfect control of your character. It's the environment that's random and chaotic, right? So if we made movement cards like a market row, then you don't have perfect control of your character, which is the antithesis of a platformer. Right? Am I wrong here?
No, I'd say that makes sense.
So we were thinking that turn order is based on who's first. Right? If you're first, then you're first. If you're last, then you're last. And then we just need to make the rules such that last player has some strategic advantage over first player. That's your rubber band.
Right.
Right?
Mm.
Platform racing action. Can we stop it with the Japanese-esque, like, subtitles?
I like the subtitles because they tell you what a game is if the game's name doesn't.
Okay, fine.
That right. We don't have a name yet, so.
Platform racing action.
Doesn't have to have action at the end, but this is pretty.
Yeah. Platform racing would be enough, but.
The game name's Platform Racer, and then the sub was Platform Racing.
I hate it. Oh man, tactical espionage action. That's whatever. What if the turn order is based on how fast you play down your? What if it's pseudo dexterity? And
that would be hard to track if you're not paying attention.
It would be hard to track who plays down their card first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would just, it'd be like a weird honesty system. I guess you place down the command card, then take a tile to say what turn order you get.
I guess, yeah, you could take, but then if there's one bag, then everyone's gonna be handsing the same bag at the same time, and like.
Yeah, it just creates a race condition.
Race condition.
Josh! Is the name of the game?
Race, it's like pole position. Race condition.
You don't know what race condition is?
Is a term? No.
Yes, as a term. It's a real term.
No.
So race condition is a term in programming, which is what you just described. Multiple people try to manipulate the bag at the same time, which causes problems. So in programming, it's that. Like, if multiple parts of your program attempt to access a piece of data at the same time, the program's logic starts failing, right?
Right.
So that's basically what the game is, right? You're racing, but it's also literally multiple people trying to manipulate the track at the same time, so it causes failure. So that, that name suits the entire game, like, literally. And it's also a programming game. So race condition would be such a good name. But, whatever. Game name to be decided. Second Symphony XL when Kikadas Zoom. Can we not? This is just Unial levels of naming, dude. Dude, Race Condition is such a good game. It's such a good name. Like I'm gonna highlight this, dude. Like.
Okay. So I don't want to get too into like deck builder, the deck build game territory.
No, but you know, it's not calling it racing game.
Right, but like no one's gonna get that like play on words, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, highlight whatever you want. That's fine.
It's fine. It's our
This is
document.
a living document.
We get to do
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
we want with it. Multi-threading is.
I am impressed how much we got done in an hour. Like, thank you, chat,
Thank
for
you,
this.
chat.
Because there is a universe that could be this one that this becomes an actual thing.
Yeah,
Eventually,
you know,
so-
who knows? In 2024,
Who knows?
right? In 2023, right? We see Ride or Die, Quick and Quarrel, the race condition. That's just the name now. Make it into a level 99 storefront because of this stream. So, you know, I think we'll end the stream here. Josh and I had a fun time. I hope you did too. Hopefully this insight into our design process helps you realize that design isn't necessarily a science, but you try everything in your power to make it as organized as possible, right? Race condition is an amazing name, says chat. Well, Josh, looks like
Wow,
someone has
that's-
to eat their words.
Chat's one entity as far as I'm concerned, right? So that's
So there's only two
Goo.
votes. Two votes.
That's 2 votes.
2 votes for race condition.
That's still more than my one right now.
Yeah,
That's
that,
so fair.
to be fair. All right. Thanks everyone for being with us on this live stream. I hope all of you had fun. As usual, there's been. You know what? Tell us in the comment section down below, or tell us on the chat if you want us to continue the racing game on the next live stream and maybe flesh it out and, you know, actually start getting into what are the tiles, what are the powers, what are the cars, or whatever. And we'll see that in the next episode. So without much else to say, this is me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and with me is the ever amazing, ever wonderful person who hates multi-threading race conditions.
Josh, also known as a 3. Happy gaming, everyone.
Happy gaming, everyone! Thanks!